everybody, it is Julie and I'm your Wednesday vlogger for Back to Basics. This week's question is really interesting, primarily because I have to admit I had to look it up first, but here's the question. What is your opinion about the lifetime fat kid syndrome versus the skinny kid fat adult syndrome? Which one were you? How has it played a role in your post-op recovery? What advice do you wish you had been given before weight loss surgery regarding this? Okay, so I'm admitting I didn't know. I kind of suspect what lifetime fat kid syndrome is. Maybe it's, you know, you're fat as a kid, so you're always fighting being fat as an adult. And I wasn't that. I was always a thin kid. I wasn't skinny, but I was, you know, like a normal kid. So I think I would fall into the second category because I became fat as an adult. Skinny kid fat syndrome, but I didn't know that it was a syndrome. So I looked it up because I thought, well, like maybe there really is a syndrome. So apparently there isn't really a syndrome in the idea that like it's a real thing. But all right, so which one was I? I am, because I still believe I am, a skinny kid, fat adult person. Okay. So this got me, my whole brain doing the ADD kind of thing and kind of playing all over the place. I started thinking, well, okay, what contributed to my being morbidly obese as an adult? And without getting too personal and gross, I had polycystic ovarian, stuff, and never got my period, like maybe twice a year. And I was lucky to get pregnant with my first son because doctors didn't think that I would have gotten pregnant because I never ovulated, and when I did ovulate, then I had my period for a really long time. Okay, so you don't need to know about that. But that said, they say that it plays into obesity, okay, because it messes with your metabolism and stuff like that. So that's one thing. Then I had an ectopic pregnancy when I was 34, 35, and we had adopted our two youngest kids, and then I got pregnant, and I didn't know I was pregnant because I never ovulated, and I never had my period, so I never thought that I'd get pregnant, and then I did, and then I had an ectopic pregnancy, and while they were, and then it was bad, and I was hemorrhaging and stuff like that, so I don't want to get into the whole, like, Biko, stop it. My dog's, like, yelling at me because I'm not playing with him. So I don't want to get into the whole, like, should I or shouldn't I have, like, the pregnancy didn't exist except for hemorrhaging. So anyway, I know, I'm, like, going off on tangents. So they cleaned me out, basically. Just want to say that they made me, like, normal, and then everything was normal after that. You'd think that I would have lost weight, but I didn't. I still was obese, and it was very interesting that I didn't lose weight even when I didn't have cysts on my ovaries. Okay, fast forward. Okay, so I'm going to answer these questions really quick because I think this is really interesting because I read a really cool article about this just recently. How has it played a role in my post-op recovery? How has being a skinny kid and being a fat adult played in my post-op recovery? I think I never really considered myself fat I did in the sense of physically I couldn't do stuff, but I don't think I mentally ever considered myself. I never had people. A lot of people. I had some people, I'm sure, be mean to me, and I know. But I don't really think that, I think because I had the experience of not being teased for my weight as a kid, it didn't mess with my head as much. I don't think. And I'm guessing about how people feel as a fat kid. Just guessing. What advice? So I think that I expect myself and still expect myself to be like I was when I was 19, not as a 50-year-old woman who's had, a baby and raised 3 kids and all of that kind of stuff. And, you get older, you gain weight. So what advice do you wish you had been given before weight loss surgery regarding this? That, I don't know. I don't know that it played that much into my recovery. I don't think that it did. I don't believe, I had a lot of stuff to get over mentally, but I think that, and maybe I'm assuming that that's me, I think that a lot of it, I still take responsibility for what I put in my mouth and how much I exercise and all that stuff. I know that I had stuff to get over, but that was my own stuff, and I don't believe contributed to the weight as much as, I don't know. I don't think that it played that much into my recovery. But what I did want to say, and I think that this is interesting, it might be slightly off topic. I was reading this article, this long article, on the Prader-Willis syndrome, which is about kids who are born unable to really put on weight, and then when they reach like 2 or 3, all of a sudden they become morbidly obese. They can't stop eating because there's nothing in their brain that tells them to stop, and they can literally eat themselves to death. And so a lot of research has been done with regard to obesity with these kids, these Prader-Willis kids. And one thing that they found out in just the seeing these kids and everything like that, and the struggle that they have to maintain a normal weight, is that researchers have discovered that once you reach a certain point, your body, like weight, your brain thinks that's normal and will do everything to sabotage any kind of weight loss. So, like right now, I'm trying to figure out how to be normalish without being freaky controlling in my lifestyle. Have a glass of wine once in a while, not having to exercise every day, blah, blah, blah. But I'm finding out my brain doesn't really want my body to lose weight. It wants to go back where it's comfortable. And so that means I have to get a little uncomfortable in order to be normal. Does that make sense? I'm not real thrilled about that. And I kind of, even though, here I am for almost 4.5 years out, I kind of would have liked the magic bullet, but weight loss surgery is not the magic bullet. And I know that it's been said, and I used to say it all the time, it's not the magic bullet, it's not the magic bullet, but it's truly not the magic bullet. You can gain weight on it. I'm a living example of gaining weight on weight loss surgery. And accepting the fact that if I want to be a little bit thin, or on the thinner side, on the normaler side, I'm going to have to be a little uncomfortable. Yeah, that kind of sucky. Because my brain wants me to be 310 pounds. Not thrilled about that. Yay, I have lost over 100 pounds, but boo, I have to keep fighting it. And that's the advice I wish I had been given, is that, my doctor said, yeah, it's not a magic bullet. Yeah, it's not. I'm sorry, my computer's going to die soon. It's not the magic bullet. I knew it wasn't the magic bullet, but I thought it would be easier. And 4.5 years out with the vertical sleeve, I feel kind of like a normal person losing weight. Maybe it's a little bit easier for me. I don't know, but I wish I'd been told that 4 years later, your body will react like a normal person's body. That's what I wish I'd been told. So if you decide to eat, you will put it back on. So I know that was a long way to say it. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, I will see you next week. Bye.